Jennifer Hudson's show began with its usual upbeat tone, the audience clapping along to her signature entrance. Blake Shelton was welcomed warmly, the crowd cheering as he waved and took his seat. At first, the interview carried a friendly rhythm, with Jennifer asking about his recent music, touring life, and time on The Voice. Blake cracked a few jokes in his typical laid-back style, earning laughs from the audience. Everything seemed smooth until the conversation shifted toward more personal matters. Jennifer, known for her bold and curious questions, steered the topic toward Blake's marriage to Gwen Stefani and the constant media speculation surrounding their relationship. Blake smiled politely, but his answers grew short. Jennifer pressed further, asking how he handled the pressures of public scrutiny. Blake shrugged, saying he didn't pay much attention to gossip, but his tone hinted at unease. The audience sensed tension simmering under the surface, though Blake tried to mask it with humor. As the segment continued, Jennifer brought up criticism Blake had faced about his career shifting more toward television than country music. Blake chuckled nervously, saying he had nothing to prove after decades in the industry. But Jennifer countered with a pointed question about whether fans thought he had lost his edge. The mood in the studio shifted as Blake's expression hardened. His relaxed posture straightened, and he leaned forward with a sharpness in his voice. Blake defended himself strongly, pointing out his decades of hits, sold-out tours, and enduring fan support. Jennifer nodded but pressed again, suggesting that some critics saw him as more of a TV personality than a music icon these days. The comment landed heavily, the crowd falling silent. Blake bristled, saying he didn't need validation from critics. The tension thickened, and Jennifer's attempt to keep the conversation light suddenly seemed impossible as the clash grew sharper. Jennifer tried to reframe her point, saying she admired how he balanced roles as a performer and TV personality, but Blake cut her off, accusing her of twisting his career into a headline. His voice grew louder as he insisted he had never stopped being a musician first. The audience shifted uneasily, whispering as the energy in the room turned combative. Jennifer attempted to laugh it off, but Blake's tone was stern, showing this was no longer a playful banter. Blake's frustration deepened when Jennifer compared his transition to that of other artists who reinvented themselves. He interrupted, saying he hadn't reinvented anything and didn't need to prove his country roots. Jennifer raised her eyebrows, calmly repeating that she was simply asking what many fans wondered. Blake leaned back, visibly irritated, muttering that such questions showed no respect for his legacy. His words rang with finality, and the tension reached a breaking point. When Jennifer tried to move the discussion to his upcoming projects, Blake shook his head, saying the damage had been done. He accused her of ambushing him with negativity instead of celebrating his career. The studio audience gasped as his normally easygoing demeanor was replaced by anger. Jennifer attempted to keep the show on track, but Blake interrupted again, declaring he wasn't interested in sitting through what felt like a takedown disguised as an interview. The exchange escalated when Jennifer calmly said her show was about honesty, not just promotion. Blake fired back that honesty didn't mean disrespect. His voice rose as he defended his achievements and insisted he had nothing to prove. Jennifer tried to interject, but Blake threw up his hands in frustration, shaking his head. The tension was palpable, the audience caught between shock and discomfort. The clash had clearly gone far beyond anything expected. Finally, Blake stood up abruptly, his chair scraping across the floor. The audience gasped loudly as he muttered that he didn't have to take this. Jennifer called after him, urging him to stay, but Blake waved dismissively and walked toward the backstage exit. The cameras scrambled to follow him, but he disappeared offstage before producers could react. The live audience erupted into whispers, stunned by what they had just witnessed on daytime television. Jennifer, composed but visibly shaken, turned back to the camera. She told the audience that live television sometimes took unexpected turns and thanked them for their patience. The band began playing softly to smooth the transition as Jennifer tried to reset the mood. The moment, however, hung heavily in the air. Everyone knew they had just witnessed an explosive confrontation that would dominate headlines within minutes of the broadcast ending. Backstage, reports said Blake was fuming, refusing to return to the stage despite producers' pleas. He allegedly accused the show of blindsiding him and insisted he wouldn't tolerate being cornered. Crew members tried to calm him down, but Blake left the studio entirely, exiting through a side door to avoid reporters. Meanwhile, Jennifer kept the show moving with her usual professionalism, though the audience remained abuzz with the drama they had seen unfold. Clips of the walk-off spread across social media within minutes, trending on Twitter and Instagram. Fans debated fiercely, some applauding Blake for standing up for himself, while others argued Jennifer had only asked questions the public wanted answered. Hashtags like #Blake storms off and #Jennifer vs Blake shot to the top of trending lists. The incident quickly became one of the most talked about daytime TV moments of the week. Entertainment media wasted no time dissecting the confrontation. Headlines described the walk-off as explosive, shocking, and unprecedented. Talk shows replayed the clip, analyzing every word and gesture. Some critics sided with Jennifer, saying she had done her job as a tough interviewer. Others defended Blake, arguing he had been ambushed and deserved more respect. The clash became a cultural flashpoint, stirring debate well beyond the usual entertainment circles. Blake's representatives later released a statement saying he had expected a positive conversation about his career but instead faced hostility. The statement emphasized his dedication to music and his fans, rejecting the narrative that he was primarily a TV star. Jennifer's team, meanwhile, defended her line of questioning, saying the show prided itself on candid, authentic conversations. The dueling narratives only fueled more discussion online and in the media. In the days that followed, Jennifer addressed the moment on her show, insisting she had meant no disrespect and that her intent was to highlight Blake's versatility. She acknowledged the tension but stood by her approach. Blake, however, avoided public appearances for several days, keeping quiet as the story continued to dominate entertainment news. Fans speculated whether the two stars would reconcile or if the clash had permanently damaged their relationship. Ultimately, the incident became a defining television moment, reminding viewers that live shows carry unpredictable risks. For Blake, it was a rare glimpse of vulnerability behind his easygoing persona. For Jennifer, it showed the challenges of balancing honesty with diplomacy on a public stage. For audiences, it was an unforgettable reminder that in the world of live TV, the line between interview and confrontation can vanish in an instant, leaving behind drama no script could replicate.